Hi, MCS Jets and anyone else listening. We're going to go ahead and continue with Chapter 10 of Dr. Doolittle. It's called The Noble Deed. By the edge of the river, they stopped and said farewell. This took a long time because all the thousands of monkeys wanted to shake John Doolittle by the hand. When they were going on alone, Polynesia said, "We must walk softly and talk low as we go through the land of Jollyinki. If the king hears us, he will send his soldiers to catch us again. I am sure he's still very angry over the trick I played on him." "What I'm wondering," said the doctor, "is where we are going to get another boat to go home in." "Oh, well, perhaps we'll find one lying about on the beach that nobody is using." I want you to look at that picture a little closely. It looks like bars, and it looks like a brick building, stone building, and it looks like Gub Gub the pig's in there. I wonder what's gonna happen. Let's take a look. One day, while they were passing through a very thick part of the forest, Chi-Chi went ahead of them to look for coconuts. And while he was away, the doctor and animals got lost in the deep woods. They wandered around and around, but could not find their way down to the seashore. Chi-Chi, when he could not see them anywhere, was terribly upset. He climbed high trees and looked out from top branches to try and see the doctor's high hat. He waved and shouted. He called to all the animals by name, but it was no use. They seemed to have disappeared. Indeed, they had lost their way very badly. They had strayed a long way off the path. The jungle was so thick with bushes and vines that sometimes they could hardly move at all. The doctor had to take out his pocket knife and cut his way along. They stumbled into wet, boggy places. They were scratched by thorns, and twice they nearly lost the medicine bag in the tangled brush, and nowhere could they come upon a path. They blundered about like this for many days, getting their clothes torn and their faces covered with mud. Then they walked right into the king's back garden by mistake. Oops. The king's men came running up at once and caught them. But Polynesia flew into a tree in the garden and hid herself. The doctor and the rest were taken before the king. "Ha ha!" cried the king. "So you are caught again. This time you shall not escape. Take them all back to prison and put double locks on the door." So the doctor and his pets were led back to the prison and locked up. They were all very unhappy. "This is a great nuisance," said the doctor. "I really must get back to Puddleby. That poor sailor will think I've stolen his ship if I don't get home soon. I wonder if those hinges are loose." But the door was very strong and firmly locked. There seemed no chance of getting out. Then Gub Gub began to cry again. All this time, Polynesia was still sitting in the tree in the palace garden. Soon she spied Chi-Chi swinging through the trees, still looking for the doctor. When Chi-Chi saw her, he came to her. He came into her tree and asked her what had become of him. "The doctor and all the animals have been caught by the king's men and locked up again," whispered Polynesia. "We lost our way in the jungle and blundered into the palace garden by mistake." I am going to take a sip of water. "But couldn't you guide them?" asked Chi-Chi. He began to scold the parrot for letting them get lost while he was away looking for the coconuts. "Shh! Look," said the parrot. "There's Prince Bumpo coming into the garden. He must not see us. Don't move whatever you do." And there, sure enough, was young Prince Bumpo, the king's son. He was just opening the garden gate. He carried a book of fairy tales under his arm. He came strolling down the gravel walk, humming a sad song. Then he reached a stone seat right under the tree where the parrot and the monkey were hiding. He lay down on the seat and began reading the stories to himself. Chi-Chi and Polynesia watched him, keeping very quiet and still. After a while, the king's son laid the book down and sighed a weary sigh. "If I could only have adventures or fight dragons or rescue people, I want to be like the heroes I read about in my books," he said. He had a dreamy look in his eyes. Then the parrot began to talk in a high voice like a girl. Bumpo, there's a great wizard nearby who needs a hero to rescue him. I think you guys know what's going to happen next. The king's son sat up and looked all around. What is that I hear? He cried. I think it is the sweet music of a fairy's voice from the garden. Brave prince, said Polynesia, keeping very still so Bumpo couldn't see her. Your words are true, for it is I, Trimpestinkia, the queen of the fairies. I am hiding in a rosebud. Oh, tell me, fairy queen, said Bumpo, clasping his hand in joy. Who is it that I must rescue? In thy father's prison, said the parrot, there lies a famous wizard. He is the great adventurer, Dr. John Doolittle. He knows many things about medicine and animals. He's done mighty deeds, yet thy kingly father has locked him up by mistake. He is in need of a ship to carry him back to his homeland. Go to him, brave Bumpo. When the sun has set, go in secret and release him from prison. Prepare a ship for him and his animal crew. Do this noble deed, and someday he will take you on a grand, magical adventure. I've said enough. I must now go back to the fairyland. Farewell. Farewell, cried the prince. 1,000 thanks, good Trippestinka. Some of these words are really hard. And he sat down in the seat again with a smile upon his face. He was going to be a hero. Now, I don't know if you know that farewell is another word for goodbye. Very, very quietly, Polynesian then slipped out of the back of the tree and flew across to the prison. She found Gub-Gub poking his nose through the bars of the window. He was trying to sniff the cooking smells that came from the palace kitchen. She told the pig to bring the doctor to the window because she wanted to speak to him. So Gub-Gub went and woke the doctor, who was taking a nap. Listen, whispered the parrot to Dr. Doolittle. Prince Bumpo is coming here tonight to see you. He will open the prison door and find a ship for you, but you must promise to take him with you on a voyage someday. Well, I don't know. I suppose, said the doctor. That night, Prince Bumpo came secretly to the doctor in prison and said to him, Great wizard, I'm an unhappy prince. I've traveled the world, but I've never had an adventure like those in my storybooks. I have never fought pirates or rescued anyone, so I spend my days reading and dreaming, and I hear that you are a great adventurer. If you will take me with you, I will give you half my kingdom and anything else you ask for. That's offering a lot. I don't know if the king would be happy about that. Prince Bumpo, said the doctor kindly, if you left your mother and father now, they would miss you terribly, and I don't want half your kingdom. I only want a ship. I have already prepared our ship, whispered Prince Bumpo. It awaits on beach, stocked with food. It will take us all across the sea. My dear young man, said the doctor slowly, you've done brave and noble work, but I cannot take you with me. Come to England when you are older. Then we will see about an adventure. Promise me you will look me up in England. Promise by the crown of Jolly Ginky. So the prince bowed to the great doctor and promised. Then Bumpo took a bunch of copper keys from his pocket and undid the great double locks. The doctor with all his animals ran as fast as they could down to the seashore. And Bumpo leaned against the wall of the empty dungeon, smiling a happy, noble smile. Now, Jets, I will tell you that there are more adventures of Dr. Doolittle, and I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that Prince Bumpo will show up in the second book, which we have in our own library. All right, Jets, I'll be back with chapter 11 soon.